Well, I think a good example here, too, to bring up is Bin Laden. I mean, I think we dealt with that pretty well. Maybe not the whole taking 11 years to find him. That was not, I'm not going to say that that was a work of art, but but finding him, shooting him in the face, and dumping him in the ocean, that works for me.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, too, is a lot of people were pretty upset about it, and because it was taking a human life.
Yeah.
And on the one hand, I know where they're coming from, but on the other hand, there were a million like posts about how sad it was that a human life was taken. Meanwhile, roughly every 6 seconds, there's a dead African being added to the pile of dead Africans.
Yeah.
And that's really sad.
Yeah.
And
who didn't do anything except for be born.
Yeah, they didn't get enough water or food, or they got too much malaria or whatever.
Dysentery.
Yeah, like that's how many people shit themselves to death every 5 minutes. It's just uncountable.
Yeah.
Sad as fuck. And all these people are worried because a sniper team took out Osama bin Laden. That's what they're focused on.
Right.
That's ridiculous to me. I mean, it would be great if we lived in a world where everybody was redeemable. I think everybody, I'm going to go ahead and say everybody is redeemable, but it's just that like the Hitlers and the A-listers of the world would take like 1,000 years to, fix. And we don't have that much time.
Right.
So.
Or my addendum to that maybe would be, or my contribution would be that if we were to accept that some people are redeemable and some people aren't, that it's not easy to see who belongs in which category.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the truth is, if all people are redeemable or if there's a situation in which some people are and aren't. But nevertheless, we're left with that pile of shit.
Yeah. So if people don't live long enough to be redeemed, then what? What do? I guess we handle them. This is where game theory comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I see Hitlers of the world and psychopaths, etc., as more like objects than I do people. I see them as a problem that needs to be handled. Problem and handle are both in quotes.
Yeah.
And what do you do with the problem?
Yeah.
I guess you lock them away. It costs a lot of money. It's stupid. Although executions cost more in this system anyway in the United States.
Well, and then we can get into like we could take this into the realm of like, if we actually only jailed people that did terrible violent things, we wouldn't really have that many people in jail compared to the people we have there now.
Yeah, like all the people that are only there for marijuana.
Yeah.
Which I think is a travesty of justice, but what are we going to do? Hopefully we'll fix that someday. In case anyone out there had any question, I'm very pro marijuana.
Have you been? I think there's a couple states that have a referenda on the ballot this fall.
Oh, I didn't know.
To actually legalize.
Like the way California did and Vermont, like with the dispensaries. Or are you talking about full
on legalization?
Oh, interesting.
Like I don't know if it'll go anywhere, but I think like Washington, I think Colorado maybe. I think California might be trying again. This is a great place where I could use other people's expertise because I don't follow it super closely, but
I basically have all my information from like a few Netflix documentaries and listening to a few podcasts. That's about
it's
it.
It's not a bad way to go about it at all.
Yeah. In the system of the dispensaries, like the medical marijuana legalization system that they have in some states like Vermont and California and Colorado, I guess too. I think there's like 14 or something states right now.
It's more states than I thought it was.
But you can, even though it's not fully legal, you have to have a prescription. Sort of the joke about it is that you just go to your doctor and you say you get bummed when you're out of weed.
Right.
And that's, you get a prescription for weed. Or you just make something up like that you can't sleep without it. Something that's half-ass legitimate.
Right.
And also you just, like, there are some doctors that you know to go to. So...
Because they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like they'll write you a prescription because they're making like a political statement.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I mean, if this works, that would be a really great precedent to set. Because I don't know of any state that's fully legalized it.
Well, it would start some sort of fight because at the federal level it's been.
Yeah.
and you can't, and you automatically start a legal fight when you pass a law that contradicts a federal law.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the medical marijuana is already against federal law, and it's been interesting to sort of keep an eye on the goings on. It's an interesting compromise the states have come up with. It's the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, that handles marijuana raids, and once in a while a DEA team will come in and shut a dispensary down or raid somebody's crops or whatever.
Yeah.
But like if you're a California state police officer, you just don't have any reason to go after weed because it's not against state law. I guess that's the compromise that's come up.
Right. Well, I think no matter what way like that shit goes, ultimately I think probably the better way to handle it is to only criminalize trafficking and not to criminalize possession of anything.
Even marijuana trafficking, though. I mean, what's it hurting?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not coming out against it. I'm just saying if you have to make decisions.
Ah, I see. I think if you just legalized the whole process. I mean, some people argue that you're causing people, like at borders.
Are you saying all stuff or just marijuana? Oh, okay.
Marijuana or anything, but I'm for marijuana, but not for something like coke.
Right. Because I was talking about like if marijuana is not legal, or even if it were entirely legal, that you would, even with coke and heroin and shit like that, just focus on the trafficking. If you've got it, leave people alone.
That'd be an interesting solution. Yeah, it would probably cause a lot less like young teenagers in urban neighborhoods to be mowed down by like thugs with machine guns. Which happens all the time. I mean, the war on drugs has been responsible for so many 13-year-olds being machine gunned down by other 13-year-olds.
Right.
That would put all that to a stop. The argument has been put to me and other people that, like, if I smoke weed, I'm causing, like, somebody at a border to be possibly killed because they're trying to enforce the trafficking laws.
Okay.
And why don't we just let people fucking grow it here and we won't have that problem and legalize it? You dolts.
Well, and that's assuming that all marijuana is grown outside the United States. I mean, maybe you could somebody could be out there making the argument that your demand contributes to the overall demand, and to satisfy overall demand, they've got to grow it south of the border, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
So
that's like saying paying taxes kills people because your taxes go to building cruise missiles.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm against taxes. But there's a point to be made there. I've heard Pam Gillette talk about that at different times. It's why it's one of the things he uses to prop up his libertarian position, which is a much stronger position than I hold. I don't know where I stand. I guess I'm really in the center. He's sort of, there's right and left, and then on a chart called the Nolan chart, there's also an up and a down, and up is libertarian and down is authoritarian.
Yeah.
And Penn is way the fuck up at the top at libertarian. And I'm right in the center, I think, maybe just above center, because I don't believe in authoritarianism at all. But
yeah.
But
to me, and I can already tell that somebody's going to hear me say this and say fuck him. But the problem to me with like a lot of libertarian shit, or not the problem I have with it is that there's some underlying assumption or some underlying belief that people are going to play nice, and if they don't play nice, that they either can't fuck you, or if they do fuck you, you can fuck them right back.
Yeah.
And I could see somebody like Penn Jillette saying, well, no, I just don't believe that, the state should have the authority to do certain things. And it's like, well, I guess then we just disagree. I think in certain places I want the state to do certain things because I want to keep stupid people away from me.
It's like what I was saying before about the word if being inserted into statements at the beginning. I think whenever I disagree with somebody like Penn, or like my hippy-dippy liberal friends, or my weird conservative friends, or my weird authoritarian friends, which I'm pretty sure I have a couple of those too, if I really ask them.
All right.
I disagree with you whenever you have to use a lot of ifs, like, as part of your worldview.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not... you have the choice of looking at the reality of the situation or putting the word if in front of something. And that's usually where the fork happens between us. I don't like the word if. I like to avoid it as much as possible and keep it out of my political philosophies or all my other outlooks on life.
It sort of functions, I guess, as a practical Occam's razor, in a sense.
Yes.
It's almost like reducing your assumptions.
Yes. And for those of you who don't know, refresher, Occam's razor it says that the solution with the simplest solution is usually the correct one, and by simplest they mean the one with the least amount of assumptions.
Yeah.
So don't assume. Assuming is really a dangerous thing. It's as bad as saying if. If is an assumption a lot of the time. Or it's speculation, which is as bad as an assumption in my opinion. I think that you should try to keep everything as simple as you can. The rule, the KISS rule, keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
Now, you don't want to be overly simplistic because you can equally fuck yourself, but you shouldn't use ifs more than you have to and assumptions, and you shouldn't speculate. And this all leads into wishful thinking. Wishful thinking can be a very dangerous, bit of fuckery that messes up your worldview and the lives of the people that you affect.
Right.
But yeah, Penn is against taxes with his position as a libertarian because of the cruise missile thing. The argument from cruise missile.
Well, I guess I don't maybe know it as well. Is it he pays if taxes go to buy those things and he doesn't agree with how they're used or whether they're bought in the first place?
Exactly. That's his problem. Yeah. He doesn't believe in the competence of the tax man.
Okay.
He doesn't want to support that. I'm gonna cough up a lung here. I'm still sick, everybody.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a cold going around here that's sort of dogging us. I'm just barely over it. You gonna make it over there? I'm trying to make sure I continue to do good radio while you're setting it, dealing with your affliction.
I'm doing great radio, just shaking my head no over here.
We'll bounce back. That's the main theme I'm trying to push. Disease will not get us down for long at least.
Yeah, I just I'm okay. I just broke my voice a little bit.
Those talking about tax cuts, they really get your...
Yeah, it's me overclamped. Talk amongst yourselves. The Holy Roman Empire was neither Holy Roman nor an empire. Discuss.
That's a good AP modern European history question. Maybe not modern Europe because it starts in like the 1600s, but like a good history question.
I was just ripping off a Mike Myers joke.
Oh no, totally. I know exactly where it's from.
Well, moving on. I think we've
beaten the shit out of that.
We got enough mileage out of that discussion. I mentioned at some other point in the show that some Jehovah's Witnesses showed up at my house and were trying to tell me about the good news of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Witnessing Jehovah.
I saw him. So I'm sure a lot of people have thought of this old gag before, but it's fun exercise. How do you improve that situation? Now, usually I'm kind of impatient with those people because I'm just tired of arguing. Spent a lot of years arguing with irrational folks and then being told that I'm crazy or whatever, and they go off and they still believe the same shit.
Right.
So I sent these two old ladies on their way by telling them that I said, I'm sure you believe this stuff, but I think it's made up nonsense, and I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in made up nonsense. I'm interested in evidence. And then I sent them on their way. I bid them good day. Good day, I said.
Now, are Jehovah's Witnesses like Mormons? Do they have a special book, or are they just same Bible, different take?
They have a version of the Bible, but it's not like of the Book of Mormon. It's the Bible.
Okay.
But it's like some Jehovah's Witness-y version of it, I guess.
All right.
It's almost the same, but not quite. It's got little differences here and there.
Okay.
I actually have a book in my collection about how to deal with Jehovah's Witnesses, and the funny part of it is it's written by like a Methodist or something,
Nice.
or an Episcopalian. I don't remember who it was. It was some other, denomination, and it was a devastating book against being a Jehovah's Witness. But
Nice, I like it.
But then they're like, they sound like an atheist when they're talking about that. But then they're like, that's crazy. Like, it's crazy talk. Being, Jehovah's Witness religion is not correct. Mine is.
Right.
But they did provide a lot of devastating arguments against Jehovah's Witnessism. So, but how do, other than sending them away with a good day, or letting them in, some people I know let them in and talk to them for a long time and really have a discussion. I mean, I don't usually have the time or the patience for that. And I'm kind of a higher strung man, and I get kind of wound up sometimes, and I get really adrenalized, and I start to see red a little bit, and I'm getting caught off guard, like, some morning, and I'm like just chilling out at my house with a coffee, and and I get surprised. It's not like
you're shaving your balls.
Yeah, as you do. You get caught, like if I'm preparing for a debate or something, I don't get adrenalized, but just that combination of being caught off guard, and it's like your house, and you're being annoyed,
right?
And I just have a lot of adrenaline anyway. It doesn't make for a good discussion for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just like clenching and like angry and annoyed, and sort of like if you sent Jehovah's Witnesses to Mr. Worf's house from Star Trek: The Next Generation. One great line from him from an episode is, "I would be irritated." That's how I feel. I can keep a cool appearance, but inside I'm irritated.
I must protest. I'm not a merry man.
I am not a merry man. Swimming is too much like bathing. So there could be some other fun things to do when these people show up. You could answer the door in an open bathrobe or house robe.
It'd help to have like a lit cigarette hanging out of your mouth too.
Oh.
Can I help you?
How you doing, sweetheart?
See, and the thing about Darth Vader, well, raping Darth Vader, made me think that you should actually think about answering the door, Darth Vader helmet, black banana hammock,
oh nice,
and then a giant red dildo with a handle. That you're holding.
like a proper like handle with like a grip and like a
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like a pistol grip.
That's awesome. I didn't answer the door like that with somebody, but years ago I was at a weird party where we were playing like drinking games, and one of the things that we had to do if we like lost the drinking game was they had a full Darth Vader outfit there.
Okay.
And like we'd force people to go out and stand by traffic and like do a little dance or wave or whatever. That's fucked up.
Hello.
So you could also, of course, this has probably been proposed a gajillion times, answer the door naked. I'm pretty sure you're allowed to do that. Or even if it's breaking the law, like who the fuck's going to do anything about it?
You'd have to have some serious balls if you were like a Jehovah's Witness evangelist. Yeah, exactly. Jehovah's Witness evangelist, and you brought charges against a guy who answered or woman who answered the door naked when you came around knocking on their door.
I wonder what the law would say about that. I mean, the law...
Wait, didn't you say that like being topless was legal in New York State?
For a woman, yeah, it's legal. I don't know about like genitalia. I'm not sure if you're... Because I know in some states you're not even allowed to be naked in your house if you're in front of an open window. Like
Jesus Christ,
you're supposed to, you're not supposed to expose yourself in that way. So
why is that shit on the books? That perplexes me. Is it just prudishness?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It seems like the most useless kind of shit to be, to disallow.
I mean,
it just seems fucking retarded.
It's prudishness. It's you know, an oldie timey version of the PC fucks.
Yeah.
You know, it's just do-gooderism. Do-gooderism has been around forever. I'm sure there were people like hanging around the monument with the Hammurabi Code written on it, and there was some do-gooder asshole telling them like they're doing it wrong or they can't loiter or some fucking thing. Or...
In ancient Rome, they wanted frescoes with fewer turgid dongs in them. They're like, can we just like get the number down to a manageable size?
So, but the other thing is the law. I look at the law a lot like I look at the pirate code.
Okay.
It's more of a guideline.
More guidelines. Okay. All right. So nudity, you're sort of rolling the dice.
I mean, I would do it even if it was illegal because what are they gonna do? It's gonna be hard to prove. That's the thing about the law. It's like you can do a lot of things that are illegal and get away with it. It has to do with if you do it smartly and you understand like how the law works and how prosecution and evidence works and things like that. If you break the law in a way that you know is very difficult to get you on.
Right.
I mean, is it who gives a shit?
Right. Yeah, the odds that you're gonna run into the perfect storm of answering your door naked, Jehovah's Witnesses are there, and a cop drives by.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Plus, like, I would like to know what the rules are for nudity. Like, if I put one of those little circular Band-Aids over my dick hole, like, is that enough or do I need more? How about a sock, like
right.
the Red Hot Chili Peppers used to wear when they played?
With some elastic bands.
Is that enough?
They're silly bands.
I think it would be funny to come out as a man with like tape over your nipples.
Okay.
Even though you don't have to cover your nipples up.
Right.
Just
that would be good.
I enjoy that sort of thinking.
I think it would be good too to have somebody with you dressed up in like a furry costume, like a giant bunny or a chipmunk or something.
That's
and you're just like, oh, come here, honey. We've got some people at the door.
Or you
completely silent in the animal costume.
Or you don't acknowledge them at all.
Or that would be good too.
So you know, a lot of people I'm sure propose answer the door naked.
Yeah.
So it's a classic. It's an oldie and a goodie. Dressed as a clown, I think that would be. It's not crazy. It's well within the realm of possibility that people would have a clown outfit, and you could quickly throw it on if you saw people coming with a Bible up your driveway.
True.
I think that would be funny. It would fuck with their heads a little bit, and if they're afraid of clowns, as apparently lots of people are.
Yeah, that one I've never related to that one.
I'm not afraid of clowns, but I definitely don't like clowns.
Yeah, they're nothing special to me, but they never freaked me out.
I mean, a lot of clowns are based off of old drunk hobos. I think that's why they're scary to some people.
Okay.
So, and I guess old drunk hobos are kind of scary. I mean,
I guess.
I wouldn't want to fuck around with them as a little kid, especially.
Well, yeah, that's true. I've just never had that much experience with hobos. Or just homeless people.
Oh, I have, yeah. That's
okay.
Not pleasant. That delivery man job. I did that for 3 years, and I dealt with a lot of homeless asshole people. Just fucking... You know, that's another thing. It's off on a little side thing here. People are like, don't be mean to the homeless. And there are some nice homeless people, and I don't fuck with them. And I don't begrudge them, but there are a lot of fucking asshole homeless guys, especially in New York City, where I spent a lot of my time. They're just obnoxious. Oh.
I remember the worst homeless guy I ran into was actually in Montreal. And we were, my wife and I were walking through this park, and he walks up to us and starts talking in French. And I started going, oh, sorry, no French. All I know how to say in French is, I don't speak French.
Merde.
Yeah, there you go. That too. And immediately I say that, and he switches to English. And instead of, luckily I just was able to roll with it instead of going, oh fuck, what do I do? I went, yeah, well, that's great, and kept walking. And he got pissed. He started yelling, fuck you guys. And it's like, I don't know what happened to the guy, but fuck him. Like,
yeah,
that's the meanest homeless person I've ever met.
I was in Ottawa one time, and there was a little grouping of homeless guys under a bridge, and I was walking by them, and they were actually very nice. So I don't want to just report that they're assholes. I'm also reporting now that they're, at least in Ottawa, the homeless people were all very nice. I didn't meet one asshole homeless guy there, and I
mean, they're probably Canadian. You know, they're polite. They're just more polite than
that's sort of a thing that goes around too. That Canadians are more polite than Americans.
I'm just kidding, but yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I only in Canada. I used to work in Canada too, and I only met one asshole Canadian the whole time. I worked up there for like 9 months, and only one dick out of all the people I ran into. So maybe
that's maybe. That's pretty good.
So who knows? But fuck you, obnoxious homeless people, and for the rest of you, God bless. Or whatever.
Those lovely Canadians.
So you could answer the door holding a plunger. That'd be easy. See, but some of these are harder to do. They take planning, and some of them are just easier.
True.
You get your plunger, go to the door, answer it. Especially if it's dripping.
And you didn't have the presence of mind to leave it in your bathroom. Show up with a fantasy sword. Or in some sort of cosplay outfit.
Dressed as Professor Chaos from South Park with like an aluminum foil helmet.
That would be pretty awesome.
Ooh, how about if you answered the door with one of those pyramids on your head? You know those pyramid power people?
Well, I mean, I'm vaguely familiar with the idea of pyramid power, but I'm not familiar with their outfits.
Well, they wear a pyramid on their head, and I guess it's supposed to give you a lot of pyramid-y goodness.
Right.
They believe that
clearly
the pyramid focuses power from the universe or something, and funnels it into your brain or something. Other people I've heard believe that it protects you from the negative waves, whatever the fuck those are.
Negative waves, negative energy.
Yeah. So
negative energy's a fucking downer, man.
I mean, if you answer the door for some Jehovah's Witnesses with a pyramid on your head, and you're like, no, really, I'm good. I'm a pyramidalist or whatever. I'm a kook. I don't want to join your religion. I'm a kook. I'm already a kook.
I'm so far fucking beyond where you people are. You have no idea. See, now that would be fun. Is think of ways to out whatever the Jehovah's Witnesses people are doing, and I really need to think of a way to shorten and give them a nickname, but to out retard whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? Yes. It's the way I play video games. It's the scorched earth policy. If I can't win, nobody wins.
Well, pyramid would be a good place to start.
Pyramid would be a good place to start.
The aluminum foil hat. Those guys also, some of them, they think they're protecting themselves from negative waves, I guess.
You could claim you're FLDS or something like that.
Yeah.
A Scientologist.
I wonder what they would say. I tell them I'm an atheist, right off. I'm not that pleasant about it. I'm about as pleasant as Mr. Worf from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
My dad said he was a Muslim, and they just left.
Oh. They're fuck that.
Yeah.
There's no way we're reaching that guy.
Yeah, he said they haven't come back either, and that was 6 years ago.
Well, I think the pyramid would be vague enough. If you said you were a Mormon, they'd be that made up bullshit.
Or this would be good too. If you have young children, have a priest costume. If you're a man, it wouldn't really work if you're a woman. But just answer the door in your priest outfit, and have your kids standing nearby, just to fucking weird them out.
Or how about a priest and a pregnant nun?
This is the Halloween costume I want to do.
Yeah.
The couple's Halloween costumes. I think that's a good one.
You have your arm around her, the whole deal. That really makes me feel that's hot, actually, just picturing that. I don't know why.
Clergy porn.
Oh God, just they just went for it. All that tension released. Oh man, that's hot to me.
I'm pretty sure that's the whole reason it gets made.
Directing. That's what you're supposed to do, priests. You're supposed to fuck chicks, not little boys.
God damn it.
Finally, like, you see a priest and a pregnant nun. There's a sense of satisfaction in that. It's like, yes, head in that direction.
It's true. I mean, like, when I was a kid and was still being made to be Catholic, like, it was always funny, the reaction in my family when somebody in the country found out that there was a priest somewhere that, oops, he had a family nearby. Like, he had a wife and kids. And it was just funny because in my family, the reaction was, oh, that's all right. Like, it wasn't like a stunning, like, amount of approval. They're like, God damn it, that's the way it should be. It was just kind of like, oh, all right. Well, you know, everybody makes mistakes.
Well, yeah, he broke the rules, but, you know, could be worse.
I guess when I was a kid, I always expected a much more severe reaction, you know.
Yeah.
And it's funny how even, like, when you look at the history of the church, that's not something that was taken serious for very long. Like there were many times in which dioceses and bishoprics were handed down father to son, for Christ's sake. Like, you know, there were even popes who were related to each other and not, like, extended family related to each other, like grandfather and grandson, stuff like that. So to me, it's just kind of obvious that we started taking it seriously, like maybe in the past 100 or 200 years, and it just causes problems. So either change the rules or just look the other way. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a religious guy, when I was a kid, I wasn't really religious, but like I was encouraged to think religion was good or whatever. Yeah. That sort of vague upbringing that a lot of Americans get.
Oh yeah.
I would have, if I heard about that, I guess I would have been like, yeah. Huh? All right.
Right.
Like the guy like had, you know, his urges, and, you know, fuck, like I can't like put the guy down because, like, fuck it, I want that same shit. Like, you know, who doesn't want to, like, you know, get laid once in a while, and, you know.
I wonder if they do
with a consenting adult.
I wonder if they do religiously themed role play. The priest and woman in the situation, or if it's too awkward.
Like who does? Like, if who does that?
Like the priest and the woman that he's doing his non-priestly things with.
I mean, I would. I don't know about anybody else.
I'm just wondering, like, if it would be too sensitive, like, you know, I don't know. Whatever.
You could also, if there were two men there, you could answer the door as two, like, gay priests as a couple and see what the Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons or whoever say about that.
That's true.
That'd be an interesting, you know, I'm an equal opportunity fuck-arounder, you know, so not just a heterosexual, you know, surprise when you answer the door, but you could have a homosexual surprise.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I've never
homosexual surprise. That sounds like one of the main courses from Temple of Doom. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, hold on. I'll hold on to that thought. The homosexual surprise sounds funny. Like, I'm trying to imagine what it could be. Like, if a surprise to a guy who doesn't realize he's gay, a surprise went, like, to a guy who thinks he's with a girl and is actually with a guy. Like, you know, I'm trying to think of like a glory hole situation. There's a lot of ways you could make that joke work.
Well, the only reason they call it homosexual surprise is because Snake's surprise was already taken.
Oh, it's a good concept. I like it. No, all I was gonna say is I've always had fine experiences with Mormons. Whenever they've come over to the house, they always show up and they're like, "Hey, they say their introduction," and I go, "Hey, okay, cool. I'm an atheist, but if you guys want a glass of water, you know, like if it's hot outside, you can have one." And they're like, "Oh, okay, well, no thanks. We'll see you later." They just leave. It's no problem. Every Mormon I've ever met was like that. It's like, "Sorry, I'm not interested." And they go, "Oh, okay, bye." But like Jehovah's Witnesses and anybody else that's sort of like an evangelical group, they do not take that as a no. It's always, they're going balls deep with their shit.
What if you went around to people's houses dressed as Klingons, trying to like spread the good word of Kalis?
Or the pyramid. The pyramid people. You went around with the pyramid hat.
I can see them walking around in pairs, like always two of them, sort of bouncing up and down, like with a big dopey grin on their face.
I'm also imagining like gold robes, like gold lame, and sandals.
I picture those robes from the episode of Cage on Star Trek, the original Star Trek, where those weird big bulbous-headed aliens kept kidnapped.
Oh yeah.
Like those weird robes they have, and they shuffled like all stiff with their little tiny footsteps they took, walking down the sidewalk, like shuffling with little short steps, wobbling.
They go house to house by Segway. That'd be amazing.
You could answer the door dressed as the Pope.
Especially if it's complete with like the mitre and the staff.
No, the whole thing. Like it's so tall, you're constantly like hitting shit with it. I mean, why stop at priest? Like, why not just be the top dog? You know?
Oh yeah.
Answer the door that way. I also thought that dressed as Hitler. You know, you go the other direction there.
bring Hitler back.
Dressed as Hitler, and that's where the second reference in the show for Hitler comes in.
Dressed as Hitler, but with assless chaps on.
Backwards. And then you answer the door as Hitler, and they just look at you with wide eyes, and you go, "What?"
or like, someone has been very naughty. Which one of you was it?
Oh man, that's the thing about the German accent is, my friends and I have sort of thought about this over the years. I think it must be sort of in the popular culture. I don't think we came up with this, but the two ways that I think about Germans are the ruthless, horribly angry Germans, and then the kind like you were just talking about, like the sort of happy, kind of gay-sounding Germans, like their voices go way up high in pitch all the time, and you know, and you picture Hitler as the first type, but it would be hilarious if it was actually, you know, the second type, like, yeah, you know, instead of Sieg Heil, yeah, he's good, yeah.
The very enthusiastic,
yeah,
slinky sort of Hitler.
The more limp-wristed salute. You could answer the door wearing a fleshlight, like,
that's true.
You know, with a full heart on, like the fleshlight just sort of, would that count as being fully clothed? To come to think of it.
It depends on what the statutes are.
It's sort of like a codpiece in a way.
True.
Huh. Oh well, moving on.
Let me see. You could also have a real doll, like dressed up, sitting in like a wingback chair. And like when you invite them in, you offer everyone in the room like something to drink. And I do mean everyone, including the real doll. That would be amazing.
You could answer the door dressed as the Gimp from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
You know, that would be, or even better, if you wanted to, you know, let's think about this. You answer the door by yourself, dressed normally. And they say, "Hi, we're blah, blah, blah. We want to talk to you about blah, blah, blah." And you're like, "All right, yeah, come on in. Just hang on a second. Bring out the Gimp." Gimp's sleeping. Well, guess you're just going to have to go wake him up then. Come on in, folks. Come on in.